Hello everyone, it's me Ash here on Nerd Life. As you can see, I'm back on the Feed the Beast server at Ash Dynamics campus, overlooking the beautiful campus. Look at it. Look at that shit. Looks good. Alright, so what we are going to do today is, as promised, we're going to look into the watermill facility. I've completed the building, completed the structure, put all the watermills in it, powering it. It's filling up an MFSU as we speak. So all there is to do really is unveil it and let you know how it works, how you can build a facility just like it. Oh, you're so lucky. You're so fucking lucky. Okay. Boom! Look at it. It's up on the hillside above our farms. It's functioning. It's got a big pipe running out of it. It's filling up a valley with water. I can only assume it's dirty water because what would Feed the Beast be without a little bit of pollution on the landscape? Got this little pond going on now. But as you can see, it looks cool. It looks freaking cool. It's got like a dome top. Obviously, the structure you build around your watermills is irrelevant. Just want to give yourself enough space for however many watermills you intend on building. That said, let's go up this ladder here. Let's go up this dang ladder. And as you can see, this is where the power comes out. This is the MFSU that we built to power into, and as you can see, it's at 324,000 EU stored so far. That said, we've been doing this for about an hour. That's how much it's made in about an hour. Not amazing. Not amazing at all. We've got a grand total of 30 watermills in here. 30 gosh dang watermills. I've built this special trap door in the top here so it's like a maintenance hatch. I can fly up with my jetpack and look over the top of these. Also because if we're going to make this legitimate, I'm going to need probably quadruple the amount of, that's just an estimate, maybe even more watermills than we have right now. And that means I'm going to have to build this upwards some more, which I fully intend on doing because at this rate, I'm pretty sure one farm running all the time is going to tap that power source, let alone 3, and the objective is to power all 3 24/7 without running out of power ever. So that's a long road to travel down. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the watermill and what kind of power it can produce potentially, how to set your system up, etc. To start off, let's go over the statistics here. For every side of this cube, this 3x3 cube around this area, 3x3x3, for every side that's covered in water, every adjacent side that's covered in water, your mill will produce 0.01 EU per tick. Not a lot. Not a lot. If you look at that right off the bat, you're probably going to be like, well, why am I going to build this? That's a good question. You shouldn't. You should not build a watermill. First of all, that's just a bad idea. Maybe build a few at the very beginning of your Feed the Beast play to give yourself some supplemental power that you don't have to use coal on, because technically you could probably build 4 of these and set them up so they're surrounded by water and plug it into a bat box and leave it on overnight and maybe fill your bat box. No, I don't know. It may fill your bat box overnight. And then at least you'll have 40,000 EU to work with when you come play again. They're decent for that because they're lower on the progression than solar panel are. Solar panel, you're going to need more technical items, especially if you have Greg's Tech. Whereas these, even whenever you use Greg's Tech, you're just going to be replacing wood in the equation with aluminum. That said, if you look inside this, it's got some slots. Now what it's going to do is it's going to take either a water cell or a bucket of water into this slot and use it. Once it uses it, it'll place the bucket or empty cell into this slot. You can put a pipe to it, so it'll pipe buckets of water in and out, or if you're smart, you're going to be using water cells in and out of this and just rotate them all the time. It will produce a decent amount. What we'll do is it will produce 1 EU per tick for a bucket of water. So if I put this bucket of water in, it would produce 1 EU per tick and a total of 500 EU. So over the course of 500 ticks, it would use that bucket of water and store yourself 500 EU to use. A water cell is better overall. You're going to want to use water cells if you want to do the quote-unquote manned version of the water mill. The water cell will produce double the EU per tick at 2 EU per tick, and then it will also produce a total of 1,000 EU total. So if you're going to do manned, then put the time in to build yourself some cells, which is just 4 tin in a diamond shape, and then put water in those bastards. But that said, that isn't really what I would call sustainable. You have to go and put stuff in. Technically, you can make it sustainable with pipes, but really, there's no point. Just submerge them in water, because that's the most efficient way, unfortunately, to do this. Now, if you're going to build just 4 of them, don't build them in this pattern. Build one, and then space it out and build another, then space it out and build another, then space it out and build another, because you want to get the maximum amount of EU per tick, and for every one of these that is close to each other, you're losing potential energy. For instance, this one, because it has this one right here, because it has this one above it, that's 1 block of water that it's not getting to power from. I believe each one of these that are below another one is making about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 1, maybe 1.5 or 0.1, maybe 0.15 EU per tick. So for every 10 of these, we're making about a total of 1.5 EU per tick. The ones on top are making a little bit more energy because they don't have anything stacked on the top of them, so they're able to share the water on the top level. That's a good thing. Now, whenever you're placing your water buckets, there's 2 ways you can do it, in my opinion. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place a block right here on the top of the wire. If you're not going to, you could technically put the wire all the way up out of the top. I personally have it running underground, but you can put another wire piece here. So you would come over here, and then you would do this. Say this is a piece of wire, or whatever the case is. You would pour the bucket of water on top of this. That would run over the top of every single thing on a setup like this. Most of the videos you're going to watch about water mill facilities, the setup is going to look a lot like this. It's going to be a big one or multiples. I call them turbines. They look cool, but that's about it. Now, like I said, these aren't super efficient, but if you're going to be producing a lot of water mills just for fun, like I am, because I was like, you know what, I want to build something really cool that's to power my farm. I don't want to just hook it up to my solar panel system. I want it to be something interesting that's going to be powering it. So I was like, you know what? It's a farm. It's agricultural. It's green. Let's do some water mills. They're better than windmills. I'll never use windmills ever. They're awful. But they're not great at all. So I'm going to build a ton, and I've built a ton. And like I may have said already, but even with 30 of these, I don't think I'm going to be able to constantly run even one of my farms. I haven't tested it out, and I'm planning on testing it out in between episodes, in between this episode and next. But I'm pretty sure it will tap out the resources eventually. It won't just keep raising. You want enough power so that you could run most of your machines that you intend on running all the time without emptying out your reserves. But I don't even think this is going to do that for one farm. That said, you're going to want to keep building windmills or water mills and water mills and water mills and water mills. If you need to know how to build them, I'll give you the water mill recipe. But in the last episode before this, we went over the project table, and I showed you how to do the projects and the plans and blueprint things for about 1 million different water mill things. So this is the recipe here. It's wood sticks, and a generator. The generator requires an RE battery, some refined iron, and an iron furnace. Iron furnace is iron in a square. The battery is some tin, redstone, and a copper cable. That said, you do get 2 from each time you make one of those patterns. So I have 30, so I've made 15 of those recipes with the iron that I had from about 2 small quarries. Small quarries being the default size that a quarry is when you place it without using landmarks. 2 of those worth of iron. It was about, I wouldn't say, probably a little over a stack of iron. I didn't get, not a lot of iron, because you have to use the iron for the iron furnace, and you have to use some iron to build to make refined iron for the actual generator. Now, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty much it. So basically, you have 2 options. You can do it like this, so you can fit more in a smaller space, or you can do it individuals if you don't plan on building a whole bunch, so that you can get the most out of each unit. If you're using there are different ways to power stuff in Tekkit compared to Feed the Beast. In the newer versions of Tekkit, I believe, you can use filters and stuff to get more power from water, but this is the water mills in Feed the Beast. Now, I do want to show you one more bonus thing before we quit. As you can see, I've got this sweet-ass Scuba Helmet on. Now, I had this from my previous server, and I couldn't figure out how to use it because I never really looked into it. I thought maybe I had to charge it. That's not the case. How it works is it uses these compressed air cells. And what it does is, if, say, you built yourself a water mill facility, you need to work on one of these mills, or add one, or whatever, remove one, for instance. Now, I built a little maintenance area underneath, so I can get under there. But if I really want to just dive in and not drown to death, I can. So watch my air bubbles as I'm walking around under the water. Once it gets to 4, watch it. Boom. It uses one of the compressed air cells, and it refills from 4 to full. Boom, it uses it again, and then it replaces my compressed air cell with an empty cell, because that's what you start with. Well, let's go over to the base. Come on. That fucking lamp. I'm going to have to remove it. Okay. Let's go over here. I'm flying. Flying. Alright. Oh, son of a bitch, there's a monster army in there. Let's kill him. Now, whenever you go into... Oh, where is he? Oh, he's like a ninja up there. Shit, I'm caught in the fucking door. Come get some, bitch. Okay. Now, if you're going to combat, these things have low durability. As you can see, I got hit like once, and it's already like 25% gone. Okay, so you'll go to your compressor with your empty cell. If you look at this, empty cell is 4 tin ingots. Pop it in here, and it will start compressing and making this into compressed air. And because it only costs 4 tin ingots, it's super easy to make a bunch of these empty cells and compress them all in your compressor, which you should already have at this point. That said, it does suck them dry really fast. I don't know why it does it at 4. It seems underpowered. It should probably at least wait until the 1 bubble before it uses up an entire compressed air cell. But you're not using a whole lot of materials to make empty cells, and you can also use the empty cells for other things later on if you really want to. See? Got 2 of them back. They're recyclable. You can just keep putting them in your compressor, and you can do your work that you need to do on your water facility anytime you need to do it with a Scuba Helmet. And the Scuba Helmet itself, only thing rare about it is the orange dye that you need. You need 1 bit of orange dye to make a Scuba Helmet. The rest of it is like glass and iron bars. It's fairly easy to make. And that's it. That's it for me. Next time I'll let you guys know how it goes with the farms and see how the power manages at least 1 farm. And then we'll go from there, because we really do need some rubber, so I really want to at least run this rubber farm for a little while. And next time, I'm not sure what we're going to build. I may ask you guys if you have any suggestions on what I should work on as our next project here on the Esh Dynamics campus. Let me know. You can also find me on Twitter at _nerdlife. And that's it for me. This has been Esh Hero Nerdlife with another episode of Feed the Beast. Play out, players. Play on, players as well.